Cape Town authorities equally considering calling in the army following days of violence, all linked to the Western Cape taxi strike. At least 4 Golden Arrow buses were set alight this morning, and 2 on the N2 near the airport, and another 2 in separate incidents in the Philippi area in Cape Town. And 1 person was shot dead, 3 others wounded in an incident that's believed to be related to the ongoing strike. Now, talks between the Transport Department and Taxi Association Santaco were suspended just yesterday. So let's get the very latest now. Hloni Mthimkulu joining me at this point to give us her perspective of what she's heard, what she's seen. But also, Hloni, good morning to you. You've been out and about. What also is being rather discussed by officials and, I suppose, politicians?
Yeah, Dumelo, so we obviously had the ending of the Netball World Cup last night with Australia beating England. But, there were concerns that on Sunday or on Saturday that the taxi strike would reach the Cape Town International Convention Centre where the Netball World Cup was happening, and if there were security measures in place in terms of that. Organisers, World Netball, had told us that they were aware of that threat, that they were in contact with the local organising committee around that, and that they were sure that even though they had been threatened and they had heard about them, that everything was in place according to what they had heard from the LOC. Now, with the Netball World Cup ending and with no disturbances in terms of that over the weekend, there was then the issue of teams being able to leave, and of course with the airport approach on the N2 being blocked, the issue of teams and everyone else who was involved in the Netball World Cup being able to travel out of Cape Town back to their respective venues. I know that some colleagues were late for their flights, and it was just, this morning was just very, it was very daunting just in terms of trying to get to the airport. And joining me now is the tournaments director of the Netball World Cup, Priscilla Masisi. Just Priscilla, maybe the first question is, in terms of the teams that are here, are all 16 teams still here, or have they been able to leave, or will they be able to leave when they do leave, maybe today or tomorrow?
We have 5 teams have already left in the morning. New Zealand is gone. Tonga has left. Sri Lanka has left. So most of the teams that were supposed to leave in the morning were successfully escorted to the airport, and they were on time. And also some of the guests that arrived who couldn't get to the airport, they moved with the team.
Just in terms of that, were you aware of the possible threat to getting to the airport, and what measures had been put in place? I mean, you speak about them being escorted to the airport.
Remember last week when the strike commenced, I think on Wednesday, we, together with the police at VOC, we started putting measures in place because the strike is going to continue until the 9th. So we were aware that there will be disruptions. So plans were then put in place by the security cluster to ensure that the teams arrive safely at the airport, and also our guests and officials, that they can be safely transported to the airport.
And then I know, I think England is leaving this evening, I heard. Just in terms of the remaining teams, you say 5 have already left. That leaves, I think, 10 minus South Africa. What are the plans around those teams leaving, and any fears that they may not be able to?
No, the police are working around that. They have the schedule of the departures of the team. And as promised, that since they arrived, they will be with the police. So they will ensure that each and every team member has left the country safely. So the teams that are also remaining, they're still with the security. So they will be transporting them in the afternoon. The teams that are leaving tomorrow, I think there's 2 that's leaving tomorrow. They'll also be under police escort still.
Well, thank you so much, Priscilla. We will leave it there. So, Dumelo, we are hearing that even though there has been uncertainty, teams themselves, the 16 teams or the 15 teams, have been able to get to the airport. 5 of them this morning. Some are leaving later today, and then there are still others that will be leaving tomorrow. So that part of things has been taken care of between the tournament's local organizing committee, and they work with the police. Dumelo.
All right, Hloni Mthimkulu, we'll leave it there, as Hloni is, of course, tracking down what's been happening out in the Western Cape. We'll continue to update you on the very latest from both Hloni Mthimkulu as well as Pamandla Goke out in the Western Cape.